Chapter 61. You are listening at novelfull.audio. All these years, Walter hadn't breathed a word about it, but he never expected someone would sniff it out and show up at his door. Melinda didn't give Walter much time to dwell on the past. Sedative, stat, she said, then put him under. A teammate beside her chimed in, Iron Cavalry delivers. Clean and efficient. Melinda hoisted Walter up and handed him off, thanks to Patton for keeping the enemy busy. Let's move, whoosh, starred at a green mechanical scorpion tail whipped past, the sharp stinger whistling through the air. Melinda's eyes went wide. She kicked her companion, using the force to propel herself. They both dodged the attack as the scorpion tail carved a groove into the alley wall. Supervillain, Scorpion, Melinda recognized him instantly. Her shield training kicked in, no time to waste. She yanked the pistol from her thigh holster and opened fire. Bang. 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 The other team members reacted, weapons drawn, and focused their fire on Scorpion. Get out of here. Hand him over. Scorpion's mechanical battle suit shrugged off the gunfire as he reached for the unconscious Walter. Kingpin hired him for precisely this kind of situation. Looks like he was right. The fight for Walter raged on. Meanwhile, back at Walter's house, Ye Li was having a different kind of intense encounter. Leave, I need to borrow some money. A lot. Felicia finally managed to stammer out, she'd given him everything. Surely he wouldn't get angry if she asked to borrow money. Feeling Ye Li's warmth, Felicia realized that borrowing money wasn't as important as her connection with him. Ye Li gently kissed her tear-filled eyes and whispered, How much do you need, Felicia? Felicia gave him a suggestive look. Maybe, enough to satisfy my desires. No problem, for you. Ye Li wired the money. Aha. So much. Felicia saw the notification on her phone. A thrill shot through her as her snow-white feet arched. The stray strands of silver hair trembled slightly, as if thrilled by his generosity. Seeing the happy, contented look on her face, Ye Li laughed softly and stroked her silvery hair. You're too easily pleased, Felicia. This is just a fraction of my treasury. Felicia thanked him dazedly. This means so much to me. It's already a lot. Li, thank you. No matter how cold or alluring she acted, she was still a naive high school student. She'd never seen this kind of money before. She was so overwhelmed that she couldn't think straight. She just wanted to be held in Ye Li's arms. Police station. Yes, Walter Hardy is your classmate Felicia's father, Jessica, Director George explained to Jessica and the others. The feds told me he was kidnapped by the supervillain Scorpion. They're on the hunt, so stay out of it. So that's what's going on at Felicia's. Cindy, who'd come with her, was fuming. Seriously? You didn't even tell me. Don't you consider me a friend? We could figure it out together, and I'd help her. Jessica gently patted her shoulder. She probably didn't want you to worry. I get it. Just like Gwen and I. FBI. Gwen was more focused on that detail. Why's the FBI involved? Did they start a new department? Director George shrugged. Who knows? Maybe. But I can confirm their IDs checked out. Really? Gwen's spider sense, amplified since her connection with Cindy, was tingling. She had a bad feeling about this. Gwen, your dad's being played. Just then, Skye's voice came through Gwen's comm, confirming her suspicions. I ran a background check. Skye, those guys in black suits are S.H.I.E.L.D. And they're the ones chasing Walter. Gwen asked, S.H.I.E.L.D. The ones you mentioned to Li. What do they do? Skye floundered. What's the full name? Homeland Strategic Defense Attack and... Ugh, I can't remember. She covered her embarrassment. Doesn't matter. They're outmatched by Scorpion. I think you should get over there ASAP. Gwen, where are they? Skye, here's the location. She sent a snapshot from a roadside security camera. Gwen determined the location and shared it with Jessica. Jessica, let's go, now. Sounds good. Jessica took off and waved goodbye to George. Uncle George, gotta run. Hey. Jessica. Where do you think you're going? George watched Jessica leave and yelled, that girl. Deaf as a post. Wait till I tell your brother, that he wasn't just being overprotective. Jessica was close to Gwen and practically adopted by their neighbor Ye Li. George treated her like another daughter. Chapter 62. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ghost Spider Club. Few inspection complete. Skye worked the computer, monitoring the surveillance video in real time. The screen showed the supervillain Scorpion escaping with the civet, pursued by S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Gwen and the others' new combat suits were pretty high-tech, even had some hacking capabilities, which saved Skye a ton of effort in logistics, with just access and a little guidance. Gwen and her team's suits could pull up the video automatically. Fake logistics, Daisy Johnson. Real logistics, Tony Stark. Ice cream. Thanks. A waffle cone appeared from behind, and Skye automatically reached for it, and then, wait a minute. That voice. She slammed her laptop shut, turning around, she saw a blonde standing there. Barbara. When did you get here? Skye asked. This was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. What if she saw her spying on them? Just now, Barbara said, her blue eyes blinking, very much like Gwen's. What are you up to? Nothing, Skye replied, trying to stay calm. Just surfing the net. Thanks for the ice cream. You're welcome. Can I ask you something? Barbara pulled up a chair beside Skye. It's about Ye Li. About Li. Skye thought she wanted to ask about the club or Ghost Spider's identity, but she was asking about Ye Li. Li wasn't exactly normal, so what was there to ask? Oh, right. Even though little blue sparks crackled from his palms, and he could conjure golden slime, Skye figured it was some kind of golden light spell. He wasn't much of a fighter. At most, he had some cool magic tricks and a few fun abilities. So, yeah, Li was still pretty much an ordinary guy, Skye decided. I heard you're his assistant, Barbara said. Do you know what he's into? Ye Li wasn't Barbara's main target, but she was curious about him, maybe because he'd seen right through her before. She wanted to prove herself and expose him. What he's into? Skye figured there was no harm in talking. What do you think? He mostly just goofs off and chills all day. Barbara scribbled in a small notebook. Anything more specific? Like, any hobbies? Specific? Hobbies? Skye tilted her head, thinking. He likes painting, I guess. He spends forever on each brushstroke, but he likes to draw pretty girls. Paint pretty girls, Barbara thought to herself. Not a bad hobby. She could just pose for him, there was nothing to lose, and it was a good way to get close. After getting that info, she pressed Skye. Anything else? What else does he like? What else? Skye racked her brain. He does some little magic tricks, practices martial arts. Martial arts. Barbara perked up. She was good at that. Time to take notes. She leaned forward, planting her hands on the desk. Does he have any more personal interests? Barbara asked, looking right at Skye. Like, would he like what I'm wearing today? She was wearing a loose V-neck white t-shirt. From where she sat, Skye could see her open collar. Huh? Are you trying to pick up Li? Skye gave Barbara a weird look. She had been dressing up a lot more these days, but Ye Li hadn't been at the club much recently, so Barbara had just been flirting with a ghost. Pick up. I know you two have something going on. Barbara adjusted her collar coyly. Good guys always attract women. I'm just attracted to him. Skye looked skeptical. Sure you are. What was this S.H.I.E.L.D. agent up to? Skye didn't think Barbara had good intentions, so she decided to return the favor. Something more personal. She fed Barbara a line. He's really into oral hygiene. Yeah, he gets his teeth cleaned at the dentist all the time. Skye even winked at Barbara. He's a clean freak, you know. Barbara's face turned red. He likes that. The young woman was thinking, this was basic citizen literacy, and plus Skye deliberately said a word wrong and pronouncing it long, made her understand it instantly. Chapter 63. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Doesn't George know about Gwen? Meanwhile, Cindy sashayed past Jessica and Gwen, asking, why is George only tutoring Jessica? After her run-in with Spider-Sense, Gwen confessed everything to her. After all, Jessica had that special sense, she couldn't hide it even if she wanted to, so she figured she might as well take the initiative and spill the beans. Yeah, Gwen's still keeping it a secret from her dad, Jessica, her feet glowing with silvery light, spun happily in the air, teasing Gwen, the little ghost spider is too scared to face her daddy, the director. Jessica. Gwen was so embarrassed she shot a tiny web at Jessica's mask. I'm tying you up tonight and letting your brother torment you. Warning, sight obstructed. Inside Jessica's suit, a mechanical female voice issued a warning. Enable airflow induction assisted flight. Clear obstructions ASAP. This is the smart app built into her suit, codenamed Inchi. It runs independently, completely separate from Stark's Jarvis. Gwen's suit has a similar one, codenamed Ghost. Whoa, hey, Jessica wobbled in the air before steadying herself. Gwen. You're getting worse. I should be the one holding you down to make my brother happy. She ripped the webbing off her face and retorted, if Yi Li were there, he'd definitely give them a thumbs up. What a great sister. What a perfect girlfriend. Too bad, he's elsewhere, busy guiding other girls, coaching them in philosophy and giving them sex ed. In Felicia's room, her silver hair spread across the snow-white sheets, blending in, her smooth, jade-like arms were wrapped around Yi Li's neck. She was sound asleep in his arms. She forgot all her troubles. In her dream, her debt was paid, and her father's sentence was commuted. She lived happily ever after with her love. Like a fairy tale. Beep, the phone rang. Ugh. Felicia woke up groggily and opened her eyes. Rustling, Yi Li hugged her close and rolled over, reaching for the phone on the pillow. Hello, oh, it's George. He learned it was George on the line. Yi Li feigned polite conversation. Busy with work lately? Having trouble breaking in the new recruits? George chuckled. Haha, you're such a young guy, but you talk like an old man. But hey, at your age, with your achievements, you have every right to be proud. Sigh, about your sister. After the pleasantries, he changed his tone. Jessica is way too headstrong when it comes to superheroes. George sat at his desk, processing paperwork while giving his spiel over the phone. I've told her 1,000,000 times, but she just doesn't listen. Yi Li was helpless. George was really tirelessly trying to get Jessica to play it safe. He had no choice but to use his standard tactic, promising to talk to his sister, and so on. Felicia, listening to the conversation, thought, it's George, Li seems close to him. Gwen and Yi Li's relationship wasn't public knowledge, so she was in the dark. Right, I have money, I can ask the director. She thought. Felicia sat up slowly. Yeah. She stretched out her neck and reached behind the phone. She asked softly and urgently, Director George. I know it's not cool to interrupt you and Li, but I have to tell you. I have money now. Can my dad's sentence be reduced? Huh? What was that? George was stunned by the weak female voice suddenly on the line. Was that Felicia? I mean. Thinking George hadn't heard, Felicia grabbed Yi Li's hand with the phone, leaned closer, and said, I raised the money. How much can my dad's sentence be shortened? George was more concerned about another question. Felicia? Why are you with Li? And why do you sound so weak? Weak? Felicia didn't want to tell the truth. She glanced at Yi Li, who was smiling calmly, as if encouraging her to say whatever she wanted, so, she lied. It's like this, Director George, didn't you ask me to find Jessica to join the band? Jessica wasn't home, so I found him. I sound like this because he wanted to test my voice, to see if my singing is good or not. That's right, George. Yi Li smoothly took over the conversation, his tone confident and making it hard for anyone to suspect anything. I know everything. Felicia's a good girl. To join the band to raise money for her father, she wanted to show me her singing voice. Something's wrong with her voice, so she can't speak loudly right now. He glanced at Felicia and added sincerely. But, I have to say, her timbre is great, and her voice is very moving. Chapter 64. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I was definitely overthinking things. George trusted Ye Li a lot. Relieved, he said, Felicia's a classmate of Gwen and the others. Look out for her, tell her not to burn herself out. Take things slow with the band. Oh, yeah. George recalled what Felicia had said earlier. Felicia, you said you already raised all the money. Felicia blinked at Ye Li. Ye Li patted her head, answering for her. I fronted her the money, George. She'll pay me back. Man, you're loaded. Just tossing around that kind of cash like it's nothing. Seeing Ye Li's financial strength, George felt even better about his daughter's future. He sighed and joked, looks like our Gwen's aiming high. That it was a common expression, meaning she was aiming to marry someone wealthy and successful. This was the perfect moment for a compliment. Ye Li started praising Gwen. George, Gwen's amazing, even better than you realize. They talked for a bit, and George was eating it up. How's she doing? I'm swamped with work and don't have the time, so I'm relying on you to look after her. Ye Li assured him, don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on her studies, and she's still at the top of her class. That's a relief. After chatting about Gwen, George turned to Felicia. Felicia, something unfortunate happened. If you'd raised enough money, even if your dad went to prison, it would have only been for a few years. But something unexpected came up. He recounted what had just happened at the police station. Unsure how to comfort her, George hung up abruptly. That was why he'd waited until after speaking with Ye Li to deliver the news. Beep. What? Hearing the dial tone, Felicia was stunned. Her father was going to be picked up by the FBI, and he'd been targeted by a super criminal. What had he even done? Seeing the confused look on her face, Ye Li gently stroked her. Felicia, don't worry, you did everything you could. Felicia rested her head on him, knowing the situation was beyond her control. Li, can you grab my phone? It's in my clothes. I want to pay you back. Ye Li understood what she was thinking. He didn't object. He rummaged through the pile of clothes, finally finding it under a silk undershirt. After Felicia retrieved it, she quickly sent the money back. Well, is this considered a freebie? Li. I heard you and Director George talking. Listening to their conversation, Felicia had started to realize that Ye Li and Gwen had something going on. She couldn't help but ask, are you and Gwen? Ye Li said calmly, Gwen's my girlfriend. What about me? Also part of the girlfriend group. I see. Felicia understood what Ye Li meant. He wanted a harem. But, she didn't mind. Felicia looked up at him, expectantly. What about her? And us? Where do we stand with you? She wanted to know, who was closer to Li. Ye Li smiled slightly, the same as you. So. Felicia's cheeks flushed. So, I've already unlocked everything? Right. Cindy, she thought of her best friend, then asked, what about you and Cindy? Ye Li raised his eyebrows. Not yet. Few. Good. At least I'm ahead of my best friend. Slipping ahead in the race. Felicia's mood lifted inexplicably. Sorry, Cindy. I don't want to think like this. But I can't help it. Li, you must be hungry. I'll make you something to eat. After resting for a while, Felicia said goodbye for the moment. She grabbed a white off-the-shoulder sweater from the closet and put it on in front of a full-length mirror. The loose sweater reached her thighs, and the white against her skin was striking. Ye Li shook his head. Just wearing a sweater. She's definitely trying to seduce me. I know it. Felicia had timed it perfectly, making the gesture because she wanted to use this method to forget about her father's situation. Well, what can I do? I can only help her release some stress, So, he walked over too, seeing him approaching from behind in the mirror. Felicia pursed her lips and closed her eyes. She just wanted to forget everything, even if it meant skipping school for a few days. After a long time, the full-length mirror had some spots. P.S. The author is begging you all to support me by sending flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, and comments. I'm on my knees, thank you. Just type 1 in the comments section. Chapter 65. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suddenly. Ding. The custom-made alloy arrow pierced Scorpion's outer armor and jammed his joints, sending him stumbling to the ground. His Walter pistol clattered to the side. Son of A. Goggin cursed and lunged for the gun, but bam. Hawkeye, intercepting him, shot another arrow, knocking his arm away. That bought them time. Melinda and the other agents swarmed in, surrounding Goggin. McGoggin. Melinda aimed her weapon at Scorpion. You're suspected of threatening national security, blah blah blah. Get down on the ground and ditch the armor. She knew he wasn't likely to surrender, but protocol was protocol. You guys are no match for me. Goggin snatched up the Walter, sneering. You're the ones who should back off. Unless you want him turned into hamburger. Thwack, A figure dropped from the sky, clad in a silver and black battle suit. Bright energy pulsed from the soles of her feet, her long ponytail whipped around in the downwash as Jessica landed. Gwen, using her web shooters, swung in behind and to Scorpion's side. Cindy perched on a nearby wall, practically defying gravity. Criminal, let go of Felicia's dad. The three women formed a perimeter, cutting off Goggin's escape. Criminal. Isn't he a criminal too? Goggin smirked. So, you're here to save him, huh? He hoisted Walter into the air, his grip tightened, like he was about to crush him. If you don't want him dead, get out of my way. Whoosh, an arrow with a hammerhead struck Goggin's arm with a resounding clang, making him stumble. Go. Jessica seized the moment, leaping forward, using her flight ability. She spun in the air and kicked the back of Goggin's hand. Superhuman strength plus the suit's added oomph, the force penetrated the armor, numbing Scorpion's whole arm and loosening his grip on Walter. She-Knight. Goggin roared and swung his free arm at her. Seriously? Do all you supervillains have to be green and so strong? Jessica blocked the blow, grabbing the armored arm, which was as thick as her waist. She couldn't help but notice that Goggin's Scorpion armor was also green. Got him. Gwen fired a web, snagged Walter, and yanked him to safety. Cindy, having waited for her opportunity, pounced. Her powerful legs launched her off the wall like a jumping spider, rocketing into the air to Goggin's right. Bang. A blur of movement. She extended her legs, her red and black sneakers describing a graceful arc as her instep connected with his chin. Bang. The tide turned the moment the fight began. Scorpion was hammered by three people and was almost unable to fight back. Not to mention there was a precise eagle eye shooting cold arrows from a distance. And the cooperation between the three of them gradually became better with Gwen. Okay, the word almost can also be removed. Holy crap. What kind of supervillain gets taken down by three superheroes at once? The fight had naturally drawn a crowd of onlookers who were filming from a distance. Are those She-Knight and Ghost Spider? They've got new suits. Who's the other Spider-Woman? She's awesome. And some guy is sniping with arrows. Who is he? Doesn't matter, he looks dorky. Hawkeye. Seriously? Is it all about looks these days? Actually, the crowd's lack of interest in Hawkeye wasn't just about appearance. Gwen and the others' fighting style was far more exciting than Hawkeye's cold precision, acrobatic moves, lightning-fast dodges, and well-timed strikes. Each blow against Scorpion's metal armor made a satisfying clang-clang-clang, like a drum solo, with the crowd egging them on. Goggin's Scorpion suit was rapidly dismantled piece by piece. Damn it! Goggin couldn't overcome several thin arms with his fists, so he shouted angrily, "You call yourselves superheroes? Is this how you gang up on someone?" The three women ignored him, they delivered synchronized kicks from 3 different angles. The combined force jolted Gargan, causing him to spit blood and collapse to his knees. The battle was over. Cindy's addition had made things surprisingly efficient. Thanks for the assist. Melinda let the agents handle the scene, then smiled and thanked the girls. We appreciate it. Cindy stepped forward and asked, Director George said Felicia's dad is in your custody. What's going to happen to him? Don't worry, we're just recovering what was stolen from us. Melinda saw this as an opportunity to build rapport with these superhumans, so she offered, this isn't the place to talk. How about we go somewhere more private? Jessica and Gwen exchanged glances. They knew Melinda and her organization through Skye. Did they want to work with them? Ultimately, they decided to consult with Ye Li, who knew more about the situation. Ye Li, on the other hand, was having a meltdown. Wanda had already gone out to hustle up some cash. With Mom gone, Felicia was letting loose. Who cares if the neighbors hear, as long as Mom doesn't find out. The battle had moved from the bedroom to the living room and then to the kitchen. Chapter 66. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Felicia, now wearing a kitchen scarf, was getting ready to make dessert. She whisked egg whites for the cake with one hand. Ye Li held out a bowl of melted white chocolate. Hey, can you stir this for me? No problem. Ye Li took the blender and started it up. It made a soft whirring sound. The air was sweet and cozy. To make sure everything was mixed evenly, Ye Li used a golden light spell. Golden light flowed from the blender, forming tiny tentacles that reached into the white chocolate, stirring it thoroughly. Whoa, awesome! Felicia was impressed. She whispered, this ability, you can use it like that? Amazing. There's more. Ye Li chuckled and used his shockwave power again. The blender began to vibrate rapidly, whipping the chocolate into waves. How did you do that? Is that from those magic fighting skills? Felicia felt the vibrations through the bowl and stared, surprised. Fighting skills? Sure, let's go with that. Ye Li scooped up some chocolate with a small spoon and held it to her mouth. Try it. My special chocolate for you. Delicious. Felicia smiled. What could be better than making desserts with someone you loved? Just then, Ye Li got a system message. Walter Hardy kidnapping prevented. Felicia Hardy's relationship household mission complete. Black cat template loaded. Thief skills loaded. Chaoyang News Channel unlocked. Chaoyang News Channel, get the latest breaking news from the neighborhood to the universe. What? Was I even doing anything? That I was just making dessert with Felicia. When did I do a mission? Ye Li wondered if Gwen and the others completing Felicia's relationship household mission would count for him too. That would be great. He got distracted. His stirring became uneven. Hey, take a break. It's time to pour it. Felicia took his hand and placed the bowl on the kitchen island. Felicia, not yet the black cat, was barely at basketball player level physically, and worried about spilling the melted chocolate. Focusing on that, she didn't notice her foot slipping. Luckily, her reflexes were good enough to grab the kitchen island and keep from falling, but a lot of melted chocolate spilled out of the bowl and formed a puddle on the floor. Ye Li, snapping back to attention, steadied her. Are you okay? Sorry, I spaced out. I'm fine, but... Felicia looked at the spilled chocolate with a sigh. What a waste. Her father's arrest meant money would be tight, and she was already trying to save. Don't worry about it. Unlike Felicia, the wealthy Ye Li didn't care. If you like white chocolate desserts, I'll bring you tons. Nah. Felicia grinned. Eat chocolate desserts every day. I'd get so fat. I'd still like you. Ye Li smiled and patted her stomach. My little glutton might get a little bigger, but she'll still be beautiful. Pfft. Yeah, right. Felicia said softly, nobody's beautiful when they're fat. Guess I can't fool you, huh? Ye Li went back to stirring the chocolate, teasing her. As for the chocolate turning into a lumpy mess. Who cared? When making desserts with someone you loved, the atmosphere was what mattered, and they were both having a good time. Like now, Felicia was so happy in this moment she completely forgot her father was in trouble. Ye Li hadn't forgotten the system rewards. He focused, checking them out. After the black cat template merged, his physical abilities multiplied. Again, the template fusion is multiplicative, not additive. If you're too lazy to think about it, just assume it's awesome. No special powers to speak of, so the template was almost useless. The thief skills were also skills, not superpowers, but skills improved based on physical fitness. Yi Li's hand speed could now strip someone clean without them noticing. Plus, the thief skills came with a photographic memory, probably from Walter, and the Chaoyang News Channel, whatever, it was just for kicks, like a TV station randomly broadcasting news. Reading the news was one of Yi Li's hobbies, so he opened the Chaoyang channel, and the system played several news items. Chapter 67 The Magical Effect of the Monkey Charm. Catgirl Felicia. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yesterday's news, acting director Harry Osborn vanishes, board members scramble for power, Osborn Group in crisis, secret intel, the second Green Goblin is Harry Osborn, currently in custody, today's news Ghost Spider, Nitress, and a mysterious Spider-Woman team up to take down supervillain Scorpion on Parker Street. The battle was swift and decisive, earning high praise from online commenters. See what people are saying. Ghost Spider's new suit is fire. So much hotter. Nitress. Nitress, heavy breathing. Does the new heroine have a name yet? We need to know more. Love, England. Scorpion is one lucky dude. Getting his butt kicked by goddesses. Sign me up. Upstairs poster needs to chill. Where's Black Spider been lately? I'd rather get my butt kicked by him. More posts here. Tomorrow's news Tony Stark to publicly admit to being Iron Man at upcoming press conference. Yi Li read through the headlines, getting the gist of it. Yesterday's news, today's news, and tomorrow's news were basically past, present, and future updates, not entirely useless, but not exactly practical either. It felt pretty random. He could easily see it flashing headlines like, Grandma Li bought groceries today, or Tony Stark's latest conquest, or Uncle Tun prepares to devour another planet. Beep star. Seriously? Another call, that it was Jessica and Gwen on a group call. Yi Li sighed and picked up, trying to get them off the line as quick as possible. He was busy. Jessica, hey, are we contacting S.H.I.E.L.D. or what? Yi Li, nah, let them handle it. Gwen, what about Civet Cat Walter? They're the ones who grabbed him. Should we step in? Yi Li, relax. Just go have some fun, you two. Beep. Call ended. Li. Felicia had been listening. Is there really no way to save my dad? Actually, there might be. Yi Li changed his tune, an idea sparking. I can help you save your father. Really? Felicia's face lit up. Li. Are you going to ask Jessica and the others to help me break him out? Nope. Only I can help you. Yi Li grinned mysteriously. Well, to be accurate, you're the only one who can do it. Me? Felicia's excitement deflated a bit. Li. I've only learned a few self-defense moves. How could I possibly save Dad? You know I'm Chinese, right? Well, one of my ancestors. Yi Li reached for a pocket, then realized he wasn't wearing his normal clothes. He led Felicia back to the bedroom and grabbed the clothes he'd thrown on the floor. Yi Li pretended to rummage, then pulled out the enhanced monkey charm, ready to spin a yarn for Felicia. This is a family heirloom. It grants the user incredible power. The enhanced monkey charm could grant a powerful animal totem boost, but it was a one-time deal, limited to one person per totem. Incredible power. Felicia's eyes widened with anticipation as she reached out and touched the ancient charm with her slender fingers. Like, the power Jessica and Gwen have? Yes, but there's a price. What price? Yi Li grinned wickedly. If you use it, I become your master, Felicia. Is that it? Felicia visibly relaxed, smiling easily. Without hesitation, she said, I'm willing, my master. She trusted that even if she really became Li's slave, he would still treat her right. Ye Li asked, then let's get started. Felicia nodded, trusting Ye Li completely. Let's do it. Alright, so, Felicia, I'm going to give you. Ye Li activated the charm's power. The power of the cat totem. A wave of light enveloped Felicia. When it faded, she had a new life. Meow. A breathtaking beauty stood before Ye Li, and even he couldn't look away. Her long hair was snow white, her skin like flawless porcelain, but the most striking feature was the pair of pointed cat ears, and the white cat tail that swished playfully behind her. It was a lot to take in, hard to put into words. Any guy would be floored by what he saw. Especially the cat ears, twitching and trembling, sending jolts through his system. Maybe I went a little overboard. Originally, Ye Li was just curious, thinking it would be interesting to turn her into an anti-hero. He hadn't expected Felicia to turn out this beautiful as a Catgirl. If there were a list of the most attractive women in the world, Felicia would easily be at the top right now. Chapter 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Felicia had no clue how alluring she was. All she knew was that she felt totally different, buzzing with energy, every ache and pain from before completely gone. Wait, do I have ears? Huh. And a tail. Something was definitely up. She touched the cat ears on her head and scratched at the twitching tail behind her. Then, quick as a flash, she leaped onto the wardrobe. Li, I feel like I could take on the world. Felicia exclaimed, thrilled, but then, without thinking, she stuck out her tongue and licked the back of her hand like a cat. Okay, maybe too different. Felicia pulled her hand away, fighting the urge to keep licking. I really have turned into a cat, haven't I? Ye Li, clearly impressed, said, you're way cuter than any cat, Felicia. Really? Felicia's fluffy cat ears twitched, picking up on Ye Li's quickened breathing. Seeing herself in the mirror, she finally understood what was going on. Meow, you sly devil, she purred. She jumped down, wrapped her arms around Ye Li, and confessed, I let you turn me into this. But I'm not complaining. Felicia's eyes sparkled mischievously. Before I go rescue my dad, I think I owe my master a little something. Ye Li wasn't about to argue. What man could resist? Walter Hardy is in custody, and Scorpion is being interrogated. Melinda reported to Hill. But this Spider-Woman, calls herself Spider-Silk, is obsessed with the case and won't leave us alone. Hill, don't engage with Cindy Moon unless she interferes with the mission. First, get Scorpion back for questioning. We need to know who's after that serum. Click, 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 footsteps echoed. Who's there? Melinda and the other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents on escort duty raised their weapons, scanning the darkness. Hill, Melinda, what's happening? Melinda. Silence. Melinda and the agents crumpled to the ground, unconscious. K-hiss. The prison transport was ripped open by something with brutal strength and sharp claws. Dad, go. Get out of here. Felicia, what are you doing? No time to explain. Just go. Days later. Ugh. Ye Li stretched, feeling totally refreshed, and pulled back the curtains. He was surrounded. 3 heads rested on his chest, a tangle of black, blonde, and silver hair. Gwen, Jessica, and Felicia. After Felicia's secret rescue, she'd had her dad take her mom somewhere safe. Since Felicia had stayed behind, rumors flew that her parents had abandoned her. The internet felt sorry for the poor, beautiful girl, and creeps came out of the woodwork, offering to take her in. But Felicia chose to stay with Ye Li. As for S.H.I.E.L.D., they ended up with nothing. Word was, when Nick Fury found out Kingpin was behind the kidnapping, he took it out on the guy. Kingpin's now hiding in a prison he practically built himself, and probably won't surface anytime soon. Cindy recently decided to join the club, too, so, the Ghost Spider Club now consisted of, Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy, Identity Secret, Female Knight Jessica Yi, identity public. Black Cat Felicia Hardy, identity secret. Spider Silk Cindy Moon, identity public. Point 4 All-female superheroes. They'd become a genuine, heroic organization. The club also had a huge fan base, and Jessica was happily raking in the membership fees. Thanks to Gwen and the others' star power, the club was famous from New York to every corner of America. They dominated the female hero popularity charts. As for the male heroes, Captain America was always at the top, followed by Iron Man, Black Spider, and the like. Lately, Tony had been bugging him to teach him some fighting moves. Steven and he had gone to some boring gala for rich people yesterday, and had nothing going on today, so they might as well go see what's up. Yeah, he was pretty much free all the time. Time to get moving. Yi Li clapped his hands a few times. Alright, girls, up and at 'em. Time to fight some crime. Coming. Bro. Master, that the girls woke up. Gwen flipped over, stuck to the ceiling, her face close to Yi Li's. Her hair hung down as she grinned. It's not a day off, Li. Why aren't you sleeping in? Rare occasion. Jessica floated in the air, her feet glowing silver. She giggled, brother, what do you want for breakfast? I'll make it. Felicia leaped onto the wardrobe and bent over, rummaging through the closet with a ridiculous pose. Master, which one do you want to wear today? That they were getting way too comfortable using their powers all the time. Yi Li was used to it, good thing he was easy to please. Chapter 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nice weather, huh? Yi Li glanced up as he was heading out, noticing the cumulus clouds starting to break apart. Soon, the sky cleared, and warm sunshine streamed down. Looks like no rain in the city today. Tired of always driving a car, Yi Li decided to mix things up a little. He called out into the yard, Vinica, *boom, **beep, with a low whistle. A sleek, luxurious unmanned motorcycle pulled up in front of Yi Li, its engine revving in a cheerful rhythm, practically shouting, Ride me. Ride me. Let's go. Thanks to the enhanced rat talisman, a little wisdom boost, this handsome motorcycle was a special creation. Yi Li had used the rat talisman to awaken its intelligence. It was practically a new form of life. Alright, baby, let's go for a spin. Yi Li chuckled, hopped on, and twisted the throttle. No helmet, he didn't need one. Hey, Li. Director George, finally off work, was watering his flowers when he saw Yi Li on the motorcycle. He grinned and called out a greeting. New bike. Can't have been cheap. *boom, Vinica's engine roared, almost as if she were offended that George was reducing her to a price tag. Yi Li squeezed the brakes, quipping, she's great, but a little touchy. George assumed Yi Li was kidding and laughed. Ha! You're a character, Li. Some of the guys at the precinct talk about their cars the same way. I'm stuck with my old clunker, though. He gestured towards his driveway, where a well-worn police cruiser Saturday. There was no comparison. George, she turns more heads than Vinica, Yi Li joked before roaring off. George paused, realizing what Yi Li had said, and chuckled, that kid. Daring to talk about my car that way. The breeze whipped across his face, carrying a faint scent of the sea, as the waves lapped the shore, the ocean and sky met in a seamless horizon. Beep beep. Yi Li, riding Vinica at lightning speed, soon arrived at a beachside villa, honking to announce his arrival. Of course, he couldn't actually drive that fast on a motorcycle, but a little magic helped. Beep beep. Yi Li honked a few more times, then let Vinica handle it automatically. He leaned back on the seat, pulled out his phone, and started scrolling through short videos. Big Data thoughtfully recommended a hot dance video. The steamy content paired nicely with the cool sea breeze, but it was just a hot dance. Nothing compared to Gwen and the girls, in his opinion. Beep beep. Sir, a visitor is here. Identification confirmed, Mr. Yi Li, with pre-approved access. Stark, still sound asleep, didn't hear Jarvis's announcement. Next to him, a blonde woman, neat and clean, was wrapped in a white sheet. Sir. Mr. Stark. Ugh. Jarvis. Tony finally woke up, rubbing his head. Shouldn't a day off be spent in blissful communion with beautiful women? Who's here so early? Jarvis, sir, the current time is 9:43 a.m. That's early, isn't it? Even though Stark said this, since he was awake, he started to get up. Someone coming to see you. The woman in bed had also woken up. She hugged the sheet and smiled at Tony. I bet it's that woman. Christina, a well-known reporter, knew Iron Man Tony Stark's personality. He didn't have many real friends. Whoever was here now was probably just someone he was sleeping with, but she was quickly proven wrong. Jarvis repeated the notification. Sir, it is Mr. Ye Li. He has authorized visitation access. Oh, right, him. Tony conceded. Jarvis, show me the front gate surveillance. The image of the gate appeared on the floor-to-ceiling window facing the ocean, along with audio, *beep beep, star. Vinica stood at the gate, honking loudly, while Ye Li was nowhere to be seen. Tony, bewildered, said Jarvis, don't tell me it's a motorcycle that's visiting, even if it's a cool one. Sir, 12 seconds ago, Ms. Pepper admitted Mr. Ye Li and he is currently waiting in the living room. Video feed of their location will display. The screen changed to show Ye Li and Pepper chatting, seemingly getting along just fine. Okay, I'll be right down. Tony left the room to get dressed. Hey, Tony. Christina, left alone, rummaged for her clothes but couldn't find them. She grabbed one of Stark's discarded shirts and put it on over her underwear. Ye Li. Christina remembered the name. Though Ye Li wasn't as well known to the public as Tony Stark, he was famous among socialites for his hobby of painting beautiful women. Intrigued, she walked out. As a reporter, she was always looking for a story. Tony still asleep. Ye Li took the coffee Pepper offered. Is he like this every day? I hear some people say he's a workaholic. Sometimes, Pepper said, sitting across from him. Like last night, he was with a reporter from Vanity Fair, so he's sleeping in a bit. Ah, I guess he's enjoying sleeping in, Ye Li said. I think Tony should cherish a caring beauty like you instead of just looking for random one-night stands. Pepper was clearly uncomfortable, covering up a bitter smile with a polite one. I'm just the housekeeper, really. Cleaning up after the women Tony brings home. Trash. Ye Li raised an eyebrow. It sounded like Pepper had a lot of resentment towards Stark and the women he brought back. Would this make Tony angry? Anyway. Ye Li continued. I have an assistant, too. She's beautiful, smart, and has a sharp little mouth. She can be very clingy. Really? Pepper didn't realize Ye Li was alluding to Skye. She was a little envious of such a close relationship. She kept smiling and said, it sounds like you are a romantic. You must know how to please women. Ye Li smiled. Have I pleased you, Ms. Pepper? That he wasn't interested in Pepper. It was just a joke to lighten the mood. Pepper was relatively young at this point. You are very generous. Not many women could resist you. It was just a light-hearted joke on Pepper's part. After all, Ye Li had talent and looks, and she was somewhat fond of him. You are quite the accomplished artist, Mr. Li, Pepper said, changing the subject. Jackson Pollock has a new work, the Spring Series. What do you think of it? The painting's good, but the price tag's way too high. The potential appreciation isn't there. I wouldn't recommend it. Ye Li chatted with Pepper, but was starting to get impatient. Tony, why aren't you down here yet? Yachty keeps pressuring me to come. And when I get here, you're still with women. Ye Li understood Pepper's resentment a little better. Taking care of Tony, with his lifestyle, must be tough. Pepper seemed to be picked up by Tony's bodyguard, Happy, later getting married. Mr. Li, Pepper reminded him, your coffee is getting cold. Right, thanks. The coffee cup was small, and Ye Li drank it in one gulp. Just then, Tony finally appeared. Hey, Li, you like to drink like that, too? Tony, what did those reporters from Vanity Fair teach you? Ye Li put down the cup. Are you looking to learn fighting skills from me, or special fighting skills from her? Li, you sound like a jealous girlfriend, Tony said, sprawling on the sofa. She has nothing to teach me. I should be the one teaching her. Ye Li eyed him. When do you want to start training? I'm dying to punch you in the face. Tony. Tony, someone called out, entering the room. Oh, Tony, I'm sorry. Christina had found her way to the guest room. I don't know my way around here. Are you guys talking business? Should I leave? It's fine. We were just chatting, Tony said nonchalantly. Hang out for a bit, I'll have a car take you later. Ye Li looked at Christina, curious about Tony's overnight guest. She had dyed blonde hair with dark roots, she was wearing a dark red men's shirt, one of Stark's, probably. When Christina noticed Ye Li staring at her, she deliberately made a provocative gesture, sashaying in their direction. The black lingerie under the shirt was clearly visible, as if she was showing off for the men. Mostly for Ye Li. Christina could tell from Tony's words that he was planning to dismiss her. She sat next to Ye Li, biting her fingers. Her figure is okay and quite attractive. Her face is okay. Never mind, not his thing. PS big PS. Subscribe to the Yen Ziyu Yen. This book is going on the shelves that I feel uneasy because this is Xiaolu's first book to hit the shelves. I don't understand a lot of things, so I don't know how many people are reading this book, but being able to see the support from some people gave me the motivation to keep writing. In short, there is nothing much to say. I would like to thank readers for their support. I hope you can subscribe. I would also like to thank the editors who have always given suggestions and the group members who answered new questions in the group. Reviewers have also worked hard, they always have to review, some chapters. Please help me with flowers, evaluation votes, monthly votes, comments, etc. I don't know if these will still be useful after they are put on the shelves. Learn to ask for them, hehe. Chapter 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Slide over next to Christina. Ye Li didn't mind, while she wasn't exactly deep conversational material. Christina had a great figure and her dress was definitely eye-catching. It was kind of like his short videos. The hot girls in those videos weren't as good-looking as his girlfriends, but he still enjoyed watching. Pure appreciation, no buyer's remorse. Tony, ignoring Christina, kept chatting with Ye Li. You ride your motorcycle here? Ye Li deadpanned. What, you think I flew? Pepper and Christina both cracked up. Pepper giggled. Mr. Yi, you're so funny. Christina, hiding behind the coffee table, quietly grabbed Ye Li's hand, trying to pull it onto her thigh. Her intentions were pretty clear. Ye Li hesitated, stopping his hand. Instead, he used a fingernail to write something on her thigh. Christina shivered as his nail scratched her skin. He's a true romantic artist. She thought. Those little touches are way more exciting than anything Tony Stark would do. Then she waited for him to finish writing, and got annoyed, because the message read. Did you shower? But he was clearly put off by whoever she'd been with earlier. An artist with misophobia. Tony was saying. No, wait, I just meant. He pointed to Winnica, still blaring outside. An artist like you, riding such a cool motorcycle. Brah. The motorcycle's horn blasted inside. Hey, why is it still going off? Tony rubbed his ears. Li, if there's something wrong with your bike, I can help you fix it. Brop. Winnica sounded even angrier. Seriously, this thing has multiple settings. What a stupid design. Tony kept complaining. Brop. Okay, Tony. Shut up about my car. To save Tony from getting beaten to a pulp, Ye Li shouted outside. Winnica, quiet down. Brap. The horn finally stopped. Voice activated. Tony had no idea Ye Li had just saved his life. This car's got tons of gadgets. If you like that kind of stuff, I'd be happy to mod it for you. Shut up, Tony. Ye Li grabbed an unidentifiable fruit from the fruit bowl. With lightning speed, he shoved it into Tony's mouth to shut him up. Cough. Tony sputtered, yanking the banana out of his mouth. Hey, I don't like that, it's just for decoration. Yi Li's speed caught him completely off guard. Is that some kind of fighting move? Tony threw the fruit in the trash, now intrigued. I gotta learn that. We can start training after breakfast. Christina, seeing that Yi Li and Stark were almost done talking, started to panic. Once the conversation was over, Stark would probably kick her out, so she swallowed her annoyance and grabbed Yi Li's hand again, holding it tight. Her fingertips traced on his thigh. I showered, sir, and I'm very clean. Of course she and Tony had showered, otherwise it would have taken that long. After writing the message, Christina pressed Yi Li's hand against her thigh, guiding him to stroke it. His hand didn't resist this time, which made her secretly happy, but every time she tried to get him to go further, Yi Li's hand would slip away. Whatever, if he just wants to touch, fine. I can deal with that, Star. Even though Christina and Tony probably used protection, the thought of it still felt trashy. Hello, Mr. Yi Li, I'm a huge fan. Christina, figuring she'd been dismissed, confidently started a conversation now that Yi Li was done with Tony. I'm Christina Ever, a reporter for Vanity Fair. I'd love to schedule an interview with you. Are you free anytime soon? An interview with the famous painter Yi Li would be a great story. Even if it was free, it would be worth it. And if she could get him to paint her portrait, that would be a golden ticket into high society. Ms. Christina Ever, is this how Vanity Fair reporters usually conduct interviews? Yi Li stared pointedly at Christina's revealing dress. The message was clear, an interview? Really, Star. Girl, cover up. With the way you're dressed, it's hard to imagine anything serious happening in an interview. Star. You're trying to schedule something without even changing clothes. Is this an interview or a booty call, Star? I think you'll like it. Christina wasn't embarrassed. Oh, come on, don't act like you weren't just all over my legs. She struck a pose, smiling. Maybe you can ask Mr. Stark. He seems to have a lot to say on the topic, and we just finished a very pleasant interview. Tony, across the sofa, looked up nonchalantly. Oh yeah, her interview was great. Li, if you're interested, I can lend you one of my interview rooms. He even mouthed to Yi Li, she's clean. That's very generous of you, Tony. Yi Li rolled his eyes. He was here to do business, not. It felt like Tony had gotten even wilder recently. Pepper couldn't take it anymore. She grabbed Christina's dry-cleaned clothes and handed them to her. Ma'am, here are your clothes. They've been dry-cleaned and pressed. The message, stop being so scandalous and put your clothes on. Heh, thanks. Christina chuckled. She grabbed the plastic bag, opened it, and then sashayed over to the sofa next to Yi Li. Those long legs were deliberately on display. Pepper's forehead veins throbbed. Out of sight, out of mind, she thought, turning to Tony. I'll get breakfast ready for you. Tony nodded. Go ahead, Pepper. You. Before leaving, Pepper glanced back at Christina, who was still changing. You two have fun. If she didn't know Tony wasn't into it, she would have worried that the three of them would do something ridiculous right there in the living room. So, after Pepper left, Christina, now dressed, relaxed, grabbed Yi Li's arm, and pressed her chest against him. Mr. Yi, what do you think about that interview? Yi Li figured that since Pepper was gone, he could be more blunt. But he didn't want to say, you're not my type. I think you're trashy, Star. That would be too rude, so Yi Li said tactfully, Ms. Christina, don't you think we don't seem like a couple if we sit together? Christina, You were touching my legs a minute ago, and now you're acting like you don't know me, Star. Christine. Tony jumped in, trying to usher her out. Your chariot's been waiting a long time. You should go. We gotta be considerate of the driver, right? That even though he didn't care about Christina, he was still a little annoyed that the woman he'd just spent the night with was all over another guy, right in front of him. Christina cursed silently. They're all just smelly men. Still, she wouldn't give up. As she left, she slipped a small note into Yi Li's hand. After Christina left, Yi Li glanced at the phone number on the note. then flicked his fingers, igniting the paper with a spark. Seeing this, Tony was even more impressed with Ye Li's magic skills. With your fighting moves, you can also turn your hand into a lighter. Ye Li scattered the ashes into the ashtray. You can't learn it easily. Tony, maybe I'm just gifted. Thought it was possible to learn the thunder method with golden light, but he didn't have the right method, so he couldn't teach it to Tony. Sure, okay. Tony eyed the ashes. Actually, she's not bad. You sure you don't want to reconsider? I have a certain aesthetic, Tony. Ye Li clapped his hands, standing up. Okay, let's get some breakfast. I'll teach you a few tricks today. I noticed you bought a lot of company stock recently. In the boxing ring, Tony, wearing gloves, threw a punch at Ye Li, saying, you know that the stock's been tanking since I shut down the weapons division. You really trust me that much? Focus, Tony. Ye Li didn't bother explaining, tripping him to the ground. This isn't a boxing match. You're not nearly good enough. Iron Man. Hey, hey, hey. You know who you're talking down to. Tony got up and attacked again. Superheroes aren't as simple as you think. Yeah. Ye Li grabbed his arm and flipped him onto his back. Superhero, don't stick to the rules. The enemy won't tell you the rules of the ring. Ugh. Tony sat on the ground, holding his back. Okay, that's enough for today. I've learned a lot. He was beat up so badly he couldn't take it anymore. Ye Li, unfazed, jumped out of the ring and grabbed a cup of black tea handed to him by Jarvis's robotic arm. Then you should practice more. Man, Tony invited, want to see my suits? Tony wanted to regain some prestige, so he took Ye Li down to his basement. Ye Li saw Ethan, who seemed to be Tony's new assistant. Tony stood by the suit, arms outstretched, looking proud. What do you think? About what? Ye Li stepped forward, rapping on the metal. He could easily dismantle the next generation suit with his shockwave powers. Tony lowered his arms, disappointed. Li, you should at least give me a reaction. Ethan, studying some parts, chuckled. Tony, only ladies scream for you. True. Ye Li held out his hand. Ye Li. Ethan smiled and shook it. Ethan. What are you? Ye Li eyed the silver mecha that was disassembled into pieces. What's this? He recognized it. It was the Ironmonger, Obadiah's knockoff suit, but Obadiah had been crushed before he even got a chance to use it, which was a real bummer. Tony brought this back. Ethan smiled. He said he wanted me to use it, I don't have the skills, so I'm just helping him take it apart. Tony joined them. I almost died in that thing. Thanks to the Black Spider for saving me. Ethan removed another part. You owe him a lot, Tony. And I owe him too. Actually. Ye Li said frankly. Oh, Black Spider. Tony clapped him on the shoulder, grinning. I knew you didn't like my suit. Turns out you're a fan of his. Ethan looked happy too. Clearly, they didn't believe him. Ye Li shrugged helplessly, saying nothing. If you don't believe me, don't blame me when things go sideways later. Since you like superheroes so much, how about using this thing? Tony pointed to Ironmonger. Want to see what it's like? I think you put it to good use. Let me use Ironmonger. Ye Li shook his head. Nah, you should let Ethan have it. Even if Tony fixed the freezing problem, he still wouldn't want it. Alright. Seeing Ye Li's reluctance, Tony changed the subject. So, you interested in the expo in Flushing tonight? Stark Expo? Ye Li tilted his head. You want me to watch you get drunk, huh, star? Alio women howen to man off test street. All the women on the street need a man. Just keep coming and putting your hands out. Come to me, give me your hand. Can't you turn off your music, Tony? Night, 6 p.m., Ye Li sat in a special seat on the transport plane. Why a transport plane, star? Just look at Tony Stark. He was wearing a suit and standing at the open hatch, ready to jump. He was playing music on the plane to pump himself up, why not just drink it, star, there are so many things to drink. Ye Li covered his ears, this hard rock was way too loud. Your taste is still so mid. Turn it off, Jarvis. The destination had arrived, Stark told Jarvis to turn off the music, then leaped out the open door. Ye Li reminded him, careful not to take my motorcycle down with you. Right, Vinica had come along for the ride. After the expo, he wasn't planning on going back to Tony's place. If Tony hadn't said the expo would be exciting, he wouldn't have bothered. Watch my performance, Li. Tony jumped down dramatically. Cause Mtlnovel gonna make ya burn, because I am the man who can make you burn. I'm gonna take ya down, I will take you down to the abyss of happiness. The Stark Expo below shot fireworks into the sky, lighting up Iron Man's descent. He really was a showman to the extreme. Ye Li glanced down from the window, this was quite the show. I have to say, for the first few seconds, Stark was actually pretty cool. Until, boom, that he got hit on the head by a firework. Ye Li shook his head. Jarvis, let's go down too. Okay, Mr. Yi.